Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Diego Dario. And in tonight's game plan, the TNT Tropang Giga rise to the top in our Bida storylines. We'll break down the top seedings in the 2021 Philippine Cup playoffs in this week's edition of PBA Rundown.
We'll also huddle up with former Adamson Falcons, Rodney Brondial, Eric Camson, and Alex Nuyles to talk about their favorite UAAP memories and their welcome to the PBA moments. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. We begin tonight with some PBA action. It's time for us to break down the Bida storylines in tonight's edition of PBA Rundown. Now, my partner, Diego Dario, will help us with his top storylines, and joining us as well is PBA Rush analyst Carlo Pamintuan in studio. He's live. He's here. Carlo, how are you doing, brother?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me again. It's good to be back in the studio.
Welcome back, Carlo.
I really don't like Zoom once you actually are close to each other. It's strange. It's strange. But you know what, Carlo? Our job here is to really grill Diego because, you know, he has opinions and we
Hopefully
don't
I'm
like
ready.
his opinions normally.
Hopefully I'm ready.
Hopefully. So let's go for our first one, Jegs.
Well, for the first one, TNT secures the #1 spot in the Philippine Cup. And we've been, seeing a lot of good things for this TNT squad and Coach Chot Reyes. They're 10-1, lost only one game in that Philippine Cup. And they're going to be having a one-week rest coming into the playoffs. So that's going to be a good thing for them. But last week, they were 2-0, beating Northport and Alaska. And Mikey Williams has been getting his rhythm. He's been scoring a lot for them. Jason Castro, a little bit of a facilitating role for them. But you can see a lot of players getting the rhythm as well. They have R.R. Pogoy and Troy Rosario averaging almost 11 points per game.
Carlo, I don't think there's any doubt that after that elimination round that maybe at least based on what we've seen, TNT are probably the hottest team in the league at the moment.
Well, their dominance was not accidental, to say the least, for the TNT Tropang Giga. We've always known that they have a pretty solid offensive team. But when you add to that the kind of defense that they're playing with Kelly Williams, in the middle of it all, when you have R.R. Pogoy defending, Brian Neruela is a great defender. Mikey Williams does his own job in defending as well. When you have Jason Castro coming off the bench and filling in the role of just that backstop, that emergency button that you press whenever you need someone that would calm everyone down. This TNT looking so good as we head into the playoffs.
He mentioned that Jason Castro is now more of a facilitator, and I think that's the plus side of having a guy like Mikey Williams to be able to score in the backcourt. Your thoughts on Jason actually being more of a big role player right now compared to what we are used to him being?
Look, I don't think it matters what Jason Castro has done in the entire elimination round. What matters is he will be fresher. He will be fresh heading into the playoffs. Because in the PBA bubble, if you remember what happened in the PBA bubble in Clark, pagdating nila dun sa playoffs, in the quarterfinals, in the semifinals, inaabutan na ng pagod si Jason Castro because he played so many minutes in the elimination round just to make sure that they will get a nice position heading into the quarterfinals. He was not able to play as he was not healthy come the finals against Barangay Ginebra, but now the entrance of Mikey Williams has saved Jason Castro's legs. Fine, you will have games where Jason Castro would score 2 points or would not score at all. He may average 11 points in a ball game, but come playoff time, expect the best coming from the player.
Iba talaga si Jason Castro. Now let's move on to our #2 team, Jegs.
Well, the *2 team, as of now, MERALCO, they've been playing well this past week, even without their star players. Chris Newsom and Cliff Hodge out due to health and safety protocol. So with MERALCO coming into this week, they just need one win in order for them to get that #2 spot in the playoffs. And everybody wants that #1 or #2 spot because you're going to have a twice-to-beat advantage coming into the playoffs.
Right now they have health problems, as mentioned, Carlo, and still you have guys like Mac Bello stepping up and all of these other contributors that siguro, looking at them, they're not necessarily the biggest stars, but then they're doing the job for Coach Norman.
Of course, everyone just stepping up. Anjo Karam stepping up. You have Travis Jackson stepping up. So when you're missing the services of your top point guard in Chris Newsome, tapos injured pa si Aaron Black, someone else has to do the job. Now the challenge is for Meralco is that, as Diego Daria said, they need to win one of two, just one of two, because they have win over the other against the MAGNOLIA, HOTSHOTS, Pambansang Manok. Kailangan lang nila ng isang panalo. The problem is, and we don't have the schedule yet of the PBA, odds are they will be playing on back-to-back days. It will be Wednesday and Thursday versus Barangay Ginebra and the NLEX Road Warriors. So, if you lose that first game, you will be tired come that second game, right? And your opponent, Ginebra or NLEX, depending on the schedule, will be fresh. So there is a lot of pressure on Meralco to win that game on Wednesday to seal the deal, because you do not want to get into that last game, especially if that last game is Ginebra, that is in desperate need of a win just to give themselves a shot at the playoffs. Meralco needs that win on Wednesday.
And they're missing players as well, so that's going to be very crucial for Meralco.
Very, it's going to be a dogfight for sure, and it's not done yet. So Meralco want to seal that top 2 spot, and given their injury problems, it's going to be an issue if they don't have all their pieces in the playoffs. Of course, now we're going to our last point here, Jegs.
Well, for Magnolia, the number 3 team as of the moment, but if Meralco loses their 2 games, Magnolia will go up to that number 2 spot. But last week, they beat Northport in a crucial game, a buzzer beater, game winner by Calvin Abueva, and that a little bit of a miscue there by Northport on the last second. And they beat San Miguel as well. Paul Lee scoring 32 points in that game against San Miguel. So that's a good sign for Magnolia coming into the playoffs, since Angas ng Tondo is getting his rhythm back.
Jeds, ang bait mo naman, the miscue at the end of that,
Miscue
play.
lang.
You know what, Jegs? Even if you say it's a miscue, Coach Pido Harenjo still loves you.
Okay, I know that. Kasi positivity lang tayo eh. That's what Coach Pido said in their last interview.
That's true. But then you brought up si Paul Lee. Paul Lee scoring his highest point total for Magnolia in a win this time around. How crucial is it for Paul Lee to be firing at all cylinders at the right time for this Magnolia team?
He hurt his hamstring in the last game, in their last game in Pasig against the Terra Firma Jeep. And we've seen ups and downs throughout his performance in the PBA restart in Pampanga. Paul Lee will be the first to tell you that his body isn't responding as well as it did before the restart, because he really prepared. He changed his diet, worked out extra hard. So pinaghanda niya talaga itong conference na to in the PBA. And his field goal shooting was also a roller coaster. So seeing him firing on all cylinders, as you said, and doing it against a great defensive team in the San Miguel Beermen with a lot of great players, with Chris Ross, one of the top defenders in the entire PBA, at least in guards, defending him. That should be a great sign for Magnolia moving forward.
If you're talking about Paul Lee and the way he changed his body, there are 3 people who I'm most impressed with during the pandemic who changed their bodies. So there's Paul Lee, there is Kiefer Ravenna, who really changed his body, and of course, Carlo Pamintuan.
Yes,
Nard Quinto and Bong Quinto.
Okay, fine.
Hard work.
Pero Carlo Pamintuan pa rin. Grabe. Look at his before and afters. Woo! Iba talaga. But, Jegs, back to the PBA. The top 3 teams you mentioned. Is the title favorite within those 3? Or are the teams at the bottom, near the bottom of the standings, still with a realistic shot at the title, in your opinion?
Well, you'll still never know, because like what Coach Yang Giao said, you're only as good as your last COVID test, and you'll never know, where the health and safety protocols, who's gonna get, hit by that. But I think, they're in the top 3 for a reason. But I think for me, I'll take San Miguel as my pick if they continue to go healthy. They're in the middle of the pack, but a lot of things still bound to happen in the playoffs. A lot of scenarios that would happen, especially in that number 5 until the 8th and 10th spot.
You know what? I think that's a great note to end it, kasi controversial sinabi niya, no? San Miguel is still potentially a favorite, even if they're not in a top 2 spot and with twice to beat advantage. But on that note, Carlo, thank you very much for coming here.
Thank you for having me again.
So nice to see you here na hindi nakapipi. Nandito lang, still socially distanced away, pero still, it's great to have you here, and we hope you join us again soon.
Thank you,
Thank you, Carlo.
So, after the break, we'll huddle up with Adamson Falcons, Rodney Brondial, Eric Camson, and Alex Nuyles. Stay tuned. You're watching the game.
Welcome back to the game. My name is Diego Dario. The UAAP will never be complete without the una waka na himo of the Adamson Soaring Falcons. Tonight, former Soaring Falcons Eric Camson and Alex Nuyles join us as we look back at their time in the UAAP. Mga idol, welcome to the game.
Hello. Good evening.
Hello guys, good evening, good evening.
Well, first up for Alex, we all know that you guys played in the PBA. Alam natin na yun yung goal naman natin lahat as basketball players growing up. But yung UAAP, sobrang iba talaga yung experience. You know, with all those crowd, your whole school cheering behind you. Ano yung mga hindi nyo makakalimutan sa UAAP, Kuya Alex?
Yung sa time namin, yung season 74, ang pinaka-di ko makakalimutan. Then, pag-start ng season na yun talagang nung nanalo kami sa Ateneo, then that's the first time na nanalo yung Adamson sa Ateneo. Tapos yung lahat ng pinag-harapan namin, pati ng drummers, yung pep squad, lahat ng students doon, lahat ng sacrifice nila, naalala ko doon sa time na nanalo kami sa Ateneo.
Oh, grabe, powerhouse yung Ateneo nun eh. And then of course, Eric, you know, when you talk about the UAAP, you can't ever forget about yung campus life ninyo eh. What's your favorite memory of yung campus life mo sa Adamson?
Siguro yung nakikita ko lagi yung mga estudyante na laging nanonood ng practice sa amin, and then tuloy sobrang suporta even mga prop namin, and then yung mga fathers sa amin doon. Sobrang nakakatuwa na yun ang nami-miss ko.
Good student ka ba dati, Eric?
Good student yan, Matik.
Sometimes! Alex, ikaw?
Sometimes din, kasama ko yan si Camson eh.
Pero hindi sila makakalaro ng UAAP if hindi sila good student. You have to pass your classes.
Kaya nga student-athlete, diba?
Body kami yan.
Yan.
Student before athlete.
Kuya Eric, nakalaban ko yung Adamson eh. Although hindi tayo magka-batch, nakalaban ko Adamson sa Final Four, and yung batch niyo rin ang lakas ng Adamson nun. Pero grabe yung crowd ng Adamson. Ano yung masasabi mo sa, energy ng crowd niyo every time naglalaro kayo sa UAAP inside the court?
Sa akin, ang masasabi ko sa crowd namin is hindi namin mababayaran ng anumang pera ang support ng estudyante sa Adamson Falcon sa amin. Kasi nakikita nila siguro yung hirap din namin na kasi allowed din sa manood yung mga student and prof sa practice. So nakikita nila na nagigising yung bawat players na maaga, and then late na natapos, and then mag-aaral pa. So yun, salute kami sa estudyante na
Alex, yung time mo sa UAP, obviously you mentioned that syempre ang kalaban niyo yung Ateneo at that time, powerhouse team sila, beating them was well, first of all, tagalasal ako, so I'm very happy that you beat them at that time. Pero were there any players in particular na na-excite ka every time na makakalaban mo sila?
Sa Ateneo,
Or no, not just Ateneo, sa buong time mo sa UAP?
sa buong time ko sa UAP, si Paul Lee, talagang idol ko siya nung sa UAP. Tinitingnan ko sa same age, tapos grabe yung niya eh. Kumbaga, ibang-iba siya maglaro sa age niya. Kaya,
Match up ba kayo nun?
sabi ko, yun yung goal ko sana na ma-reach ko nung time na yun.
Kamatch up mo ba yan dati?
Nababantayan mo siya noon ng time na yun?
Oo, para talagang na-hype up ako pag nababantayan ko sa pag si Paul yung nababantayan.
Ano yung bakit mahirap bantayan yung isang poly? Especially nung college, nung nasa UE pa siya.
Kung ano yung ginagawa niya sa PBA, yun na yun.
Ganun pa rin. pero ano yung record mo against Paul Lee sa UAP?
Hindi ko na maalala yung record na, pero talagang sobrang nakaka-hype pag siya yung nakakalaban ko.
Ikaw, Eric, may special rival ka ba? Personal rival?
Siguro every time na magtatapat kami ng Ateneo, si Nego Sal. Kasi halos the same yung position namin. And then yung sistema ng Adamson at Ateneo is the same sa lahat ng movement ng
the same time.
entry pass ng So, and then sa akin naman is ang mas naano ako kay Aldrich Ramos kasi less movement and then sobrang talino ng taong maglaro.
Yeah.
Yung experience niya, grabe. Hanggang ngayon, kasama ko dito sa
Teammates
therapy
pa kayo.
room. And then, halos lahat kaming mga big man na kaposisyon niya is na sa kanya. Next na sa sobrang galing niya magdala sa amin and then minsan lang magsalita ang tao pero doon ko masasabi yung tao minsan lang magsalita and then ginagawa yung kung anong trabaho.
Pero
sobrang simple ng tao.
Talking about, you talked about your Adamson career. Kuya Eric, naging coach mo si Coach Leo Austria. How big of an impact is he? Especially now na nakaabot kayong PBA, si Kuya Alex din. Pero ano yung impact niya, effect niya sa'yo until now?
Siguro yung disiplina. Yun ang number one. Bawal na bawal ka magpuyat talaga kay Coach Leo. And then, siyempre, kapag may sinabi siya, so kailangan mo man sundin. So, good thing naman, nakinig kami sa kanya. And then, ito yung naging namin sa kanya. So, in return siguro, kung may chance kami magpasalamat sa kanya, salamat. Hanggang ngayon, yung mga sinasabi mo sa amin, na-apply namin sa buhay, lalo na sa pampamilya.
Grabe, si Coach Leo, one of the best motivators yan in the PBA and syempre I'm sure sa UAP rin. Pero Alex, right now after yung time mo sa UAP, obviously yung tatak na yan yung Falcon ka, it doesn't leave you eh. So what parts of yung time mo from being a Falcon did you bring to your life after the UAP?
I'm sorry?
Yung what attributes of a Falcon did you keep after yung time mo sa UAP?
Siguro, nadadala ko lahat dito kahit wala na ako sa PBA, dala ko pa rin yung mga natutunan ko. Siyempre, yung disiplina. Kahit saan man yan, sa family, sa business. So, dala-dala mo lahat ng tinuro. Lalo na yung mga tinuro ni Coach Leo, talagang lahat ng gagaling sa puso, lahat ng sacrifice, talagang wala kang masasabi din kay Coach Leo na sa lahat ng naturo niya, maano mo talaga magagamit mo sa lahat ng panahon na yan.
Well, it's never always just about basketball, diba? Especially for young men in the UAAP. Thank you very much, guys. But we're not done with you yet because when we return, we'll talk more hoops with our soaring Falcons as they look back at their welcome to the PBA moments and favorite memories in the league. Stay tuned. You're watching the game. Welcome back. You're watching the game. I'm Paolo De Rosario. We're still joined by proud Adamson soaring Falcons, Eric Camson and Alex Nuyles. Now, of course, your basketball journeys did not stop after you graduated in the UAP. The both of them went on to play in the PBA. So, ang tanong namin ngayon, do you remember your welcome to the PBA moment? Because every player has their own story.
For sure.
Oh, sure ball yun. Diego has his own story, pero alam mo, he's too embarrassed to say it now daw.
Sila na lang.
Sila na
Sila
muna.
na lang.
Alex, ikaw muna.
Pwede ba i-share muna niya?
Oh.
Share muna niya sa kanya.
Oh, Jex, ikaw muna.
Sa akin, ito lang, one word lang, one name, Calvin Abueva, yun lang.
Okay. Sige. Sigurado may highlight doon. Pero Alex, ikaw, ano yung welcome to the PBA moment mo?
Yung kay Coach Yeng, yun lang talaga.
Ano,
Yun na yun.
pwede ba sabihin on TV or hindi?
Hindi, kahit hindi sa'yo directed yung sigaw niya, parang mapupunta pa rin sa'yo yung sigaw niya eh. Pero nakaka-uplift ng spirit yung mga sigaw-sigaw niya eh. So, yun ang pinaka-welcome sa akin.
Yung question dun, pag nasisigawan ka, ako, never ko pa naging coach si Coach Yeng, pero pag nasisigawan ka ni Coach Yeng, ano yung effect nun sa'yo? Namo-motivate ba? Or medyo
mas
nagigising ka?
motivated ako kasi nung time na bata ako, matigas talaga ulo ko. Kailangan sigawan mo pa ako eh.
Wow, okay.
Iba-iba.
Oo. Pero alam mo, in my experience covering si Coach Yeng, all his players said that grabe, parang parang father figure din si Coach Yeng eh, because he protects you talaga eh, no matter what eh. Ganyan ba din yung experience mo?
Oo. Talagang pagtatanggol ka niya sa court kapag ka talagang agrabyado ka talagang, pati referee, lahat talaga papatulan niya. Basta lang mapagtanggol ka niya as a player.
Kuya Alex, ito, Coach Yeng, tapos na tayo doon. But paano naman si Kuya Bo Belga? Rain or shine kayo before you guys were teammates. Kamusta naman yung pag-welcome niya sa'yo?
Ang masakit katawan ko eh. Pagkatapos ng first practice ko, pumassage ka agad.
Massage after tsaka during practice.
Oh, by the way, we just wanna say hello to Rodney Brondial. Finally joining us. Rodney, kamusta ka naman?
Sir, good evening. Okay naman po. Okay. Katapos lang nung meeting namin, medyo kasalanan nila EJ ito eh.
Okay na yan. Pero, okay, but you know, we're here to I know we're here to talk about the PBA, pero let's go back to your time in Adamson muna kasi we got some nice memories coming from si Camson and from Nuyles. So, talking about yung time mo sa UAAP, is there anything in particular, may favorite memory ka ba from your time in Adamson, either off the court, on the court, na kapag binabalikan mo, napapangiti ka na lang?
Siguro yung bonding talaga kasama yung mga teammates ko. Kasi sobrang close kasi din talaga namin yung mga yan. Talagang magbabarkada kami. So yun yung pinaka siguro namimiss ko yung sa college days.
Eric, so, okay, linaglag ka na ni Rodney kanina, so we're gonna go to you next. Looking at yung welcome to the PBA moment mo, what was it for you?
Sa akin siguro, sa practice, si Coach Franz Pumaren. Siyempre, hindi sila nagkakain na yun ni Coach Yeng. Once na sinabihan ka, tago sa buto.
Pero paano ka nag-respond doon pag ako naririnig ko yun, nakalaban ko si Coach Franz Pumaren sa UAAP. Grabe talaga sumigaw. Ano yung effect naman sa'yo nun, Kuya Eric?
Siguro kung magiging pusong mamon ka, hindi ka mabubuhay. Hindi ka tatagal sa kanya.
So paano dapat?
Ginawa ko, inano ko lang, in-accept ko nang in-accept. And then kapag alam ko medyo yung masakit na sa dibdib ko, labas ko na sa tenga ko.
Laro na lang ulit.
Laro na lang ulit. Laban lang.
Ikaw naman, Rodney, we're talking about yung welcome to the PBA moments. Ano yung, siguro ano yung moment mo on the court na masasabi mo welcome to the PBA?
Ako, yung unang practice ko pa lang sa sa Ginebra. Sobrang physical na kagad ni Billy Moms eh. Talagang bibinyagan ka na kagad eh.
Binugbog ka ba?
Natatandaan ko nun, parang may kasabay akong nag-tryout nun. Binigyan kagad ni Billy, basag yung ilong eh.
Pero
seryoso, basag talaga yung ilong, grabe. Tapos talagang sobrang physical ni Billy nun, nambubuli talaga siya. Tapos natanda ako parang isang buong taon, ang pangalan ko sa kanya, rookie. Hindi niya ako tinatawag na Rodney or rookie lang tawag niya sa akin, isang buong taon.
when was the first time he called you Rodney? Nalala mo pa ba?
Yung alin po?
When he first called you Rodney, anong ginawa mo?
Nung siguro nung hindi na ako rookie.
Yung next year na lang, nag-graduate ka lang.
Doon na niya ako tinawag na Rodney.
Well, pero syempre part ng pagiging pro, syempre yung mga favorite matchups natin sa PBA. Pero nung rookie kayo, sino yung favorite matchup mo nun, Kuya Rodney?
Ako, sobrang parang na-starstruck ako nun kay Kuya Ping eh. Parang,
Syempre.
naalala ko nun before ako magpa-draft, nagpapapicture pa ako sa kanya nun pag nanonood ako ng mga games nila. Naabangan ko pa sa parking lot yun, nagpapapicture pa ako dyan kay Kuya Ping. Tapos biglang, nung kalaban mo na siya, minsan tinitingnan ko pa, pagkatabi ko sa rebound sa free throw, tinitingnan ko pa parang, grabe, idol ko to. Tapos, di ba, kalaban. Sobrang sarap sa pakiramdam.
Ngayon retired na siya, meron ba siyang mga in-impart sa'yo na advice? Syempre, naging teammates kayo dati.
Oo, kasi nagkakausap pa rin naman kami ni Kuya Ping eh. Minsan, naglolokohan pa kami. Kuya Ping, kailan tayo mag-workout? Kasi laging ganun yung pag-uusap namin eh. Parang minsan, nung nasa Magnolia pa kami, parang tinuturuan niya ako. Tapos kahit nandito na ako sa Alaska, tapos retired na siya, nag-i-invite din siya ng talagang pag may time, workout tayo, kaya mag-aral tayo sa basketball, ganyan.
Oh, yeah, that's very Ping. Ikaw naman, Alex, na-starstruck na ba dati on the court?
Kay kasi kakampi ko nun si Paulie, so pagkalaban namin ng token text nun, si Jason Castro. Kaso di ko nakikita eh. Pag binabantayan ko, di ko nakikita.
Kaya nga the blur eh, di ba? Oo.
Naka-match up mo ba si Kuya Jason, Kuya Alex?
Kasi pag sa rain or shine ka, kahit sino pwede mong bantayan. Sa 1, 2, 3, pwede mo siyang bantayan. So siya yun talaga, pag nababantayan mo yun, parang kulang pa yung pre-practice mong laterals.
Hindi ka makahabol eh. Siyempre, prime niya rin yun eh. Ikaw naman, Eric, may na-starstruck ka na ba dati on the court?
Kay Kuya Danny Siger.
Nga no.
Siguro, inabot ko pa siya nagpa-picture ako sa kanya, nag-tryout ako sa Barako Bull. Grabe kahit medyo may edad na siya nun, is yung galaw niya is pulidong-pulido. So before pa naman, lagi ko na siyang pinapanood. So yun, and then syempre, nung rookie ako, Kuya Asi, talagang gaya nga ng sinabi ni Rodney, hey rookie din ako nun. After ang practice, lagi akong hila ako lagi niya, o kakain kami. Tapos syempre, may konting inuman na hindi ko na madadala yung kotse ko pa uwi. Magta-taxi na ako. Ang lakas.
Ang daming kwento, dami niyong kwento and memories, and salamat sa pag-share nun, Kuya Rodney, Eric, and Alex. Maraming salamat, mga idol.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And that's it for us tonight. Thank you for joining us. My name is Diego Dario.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paulo Del Rosario, and this has been The Game.